Para notas de encerramento, vai usar a palavra o chefe de unidade da Política Marítima para o Atlântico, regiões ultraperiféricas e o Ártico, da Direção-Geral dos Assuntos do Mar e Pescas da Comissão Europeia, Dr. Matthew King.
Thank you very much to our hosts who've asked me to make some short concluding remarks before the Minister speaks and closes the event. Representing the European Commission here today, it's been extremely interesting and educational to discover what is happening in the world of business and in the public sector with regard to our seas and oceans, in mining, in energy, marine research, marine biology, and biotechnology. It would be difficult to do justice briefly to all of that in one short session. So I would like to return briefly, if I may, back to first principles and start from where we began with this endeavor, which is because we believe we can create a blue economy. We believe that this is where the economies of the future can grow. And in times of an economic downturn in Europe, it's important that we're able to see a vision for the future that we can share. The sea is an asset. It's a resource which is, to a large degree, untapped. The sea floor will derive many means of future growth. And the flora and fauna in the oceans also. Exploiting that resource, however, needs to be done with care, and it's been very heartening to see how the speakers today have spoken intelligently about the need for good stewardship and guardianship of the oceans in their commercial ventures. What can the European Commission do? We think there's three things that need to be done in order to give the private sector and the public sector the means of developing a blue economy. The same things that you need on land. You need legal certainty, you need a degree of safety, and you need information. In terms of legal certainty, we are preparing work for maritime spatial planning, possibly a directive on that to come out shortly. In terms of safety, you've heard today about the pilot project, the Blue Mass Med pilot project, and maybe ways of sharing important information about what's happening on the ocean, on the seas, is an important way of giving the private sector the sort of confidence it needs to make the large investments required for commercial success. And information, data. We've heard recently about how marine researchers and biotechnologists and others are developing all kinds of exciting new, or potentially exciting new commercial ventures. We're only beginning to learn about what's on the sea floor. Pooling this information in an intelligent way which is accessible and available and hopefully at low cost will be one of the things which helps drive innovation. And we've heard that today also. And this is where the Atlantic strategy and other strategies were developed. But at the moment, we're in the realm slightly of vision, and we need to bring it down to earth as quickly as possible, down to the sea as quickly as possible, from vision to reality. And that's where I'd like to say just a few words, if I may, about the Atlantic Forum, which was mentioned in the Atlantic Strategy published recently by the European Commission. Governments have a role to play in providing a sort of framework within which the private and public sectors can operate. And we want to harness the enthusiasm and momentum that we've seen today, these last 2 days, on the Atlantic Strategy, in order to make real and concrete projects available. The Atlantic Forum is a process by which we hope to be able to achieve the following. We hope to be able to put in place a number of useful and viable projects that would be able to benefit from EU co-funding from 2014 onwards, when new financial perspectives will be in place for the European Union. Counting backwards from that, we need to be able to work together with the member states, with the regions, with stakeholders, with other actors, to identify projects within a reasonably short timescale, possibly even by the end of next year. So a year today, we should at least have the outlines of some projects that we think will be viable. That means that member states will be able to discuss these bilaterally with Brussels in terms of funding possibilities for 2014 onwards. And so the forum, in a sense, will begin as soon as we can, led by some notables who we hope will steer the process, coming from all the 5 Atlantic member states and involving the widest possible participation of stakeholders. So it falls to me to ask you to work with us to get the forum off the ground, to participate, to make suggestions to your representatives, to your governments, and for business also to be involved, because we want commercially viable projects, things that you can knock your head on, where we can put things in steel and concrete in ports and in the maritime areas of Europe that will really add value to our economies and be investments for the future. The blue economy is a long-term investment process, and hopefully the forum will be just the first step on the way to making that blue economy a reality. Thank you.